Why? Hi everyone! Today we are doing a very exciting video. I'm going to do a bookshelf tour, and I've been watching bookshelf tours on YouTube ever since I was like 12 or 13, and I was always thinking like one day I can do one of these of my own, and today is the day. My bookshelf is not nearly as impressive as the ones you always see in those other bookshelf tours. Like, as you can see, this is it. I have a very small bookshelf. I have some books on the side, but I'll talk about those later. I used to have a bigger bookshelf, but when I was moving around, it just didn't fit anymore. But for now, this is what it is, and I just thought it would be fun to show all the books I own, and also to show kind of what my taste in books is, and yeah, what kind of books you can expect to be discussed on this channel. I'm just gonna start with the bookshelf tour, and I hope you guys enjoy.
So as you can see, I have quite a messy shelf, but that's okay. So far I've been making it work, but it might be soon that I actually need an addition to my shelves. But this is what it is for now. On the top I have my books that I'm more interested in now. So literary fiction, more adult books, and on the bottom there is more of my childhood books, so YA, fantasy, and all that stuff. In the middle part you can see Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, which is like my honorary shelf of books that I will never ever throw away. So that's kind of how I organized it. I don't organize them in any particular way, basically just on genre and height mostly. And other than that, I have no other system. On the other side, I also have some books that didn't fit in my bookshelves anymore, but I will show those more clearly later.
So let's start with the very top of my bookshelf. As you can see, there's no space in my actual bookshelf anymore, so I have to start stacking them on top. So that's mainly the reason why I want another bookshelf, because I don't like how this looks that much. But anyway, let's just get started. On top here I have Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, Bitter Fame, A Life of Sylvia Plath by Anne Stevenson, and Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Then I have Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver, Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, The Magic Toy Shop by Angela Carter. Then on the top shelf of my bookshelf I have What We Lose by Zinzi Clements, Difficult Women by Roxane Gay, The Anatomy of Being by Shinji Moon, People Like Us by Joris Luijendijk, The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin, Homegoing by Jaak Yassi, Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, Jellicoe Road by Melina Marchetta, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, and Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, The Color Purple by Alice Walker, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, The Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath by Sylvia Plath, Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado, A Field Guide to Getting Lost by Rebecca Solnit, and Men Explain Things to Me by Rebecca Solnit, Autumn by Ellie Smith, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, The Woman Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir, Into the Wild by John Krakauer, Maktub by Paulo Coelho, We Are All Stardust by Stefan Klein, The Gene by Siddhartha, no idea, The Order of Time by Carlo Rovelli, The Lonely City by Olivia Lang, Stories by Susan Sontag, On Writing by Stephen King, To the Lighthouse and A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf, The Sun and Her Flowers and Milk and Honey by Ruby Kaur, Grief is a Thing with Feathers by Max Porter, Bluets and The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson, Night Sky with Exit Wounds by Ocean Vuong, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edel Lodge, and Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. Then on the next shelf we have Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, Sea Prayer by Khaled Hosseini, Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, and The Ocean Was Our Sky by Patrick Ness, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, Circe by Madeline Miller, The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielski? I don't know, I'm sorry. Night Film by Marisha Pessel, Outlander and Dragonfly in Amber by Diana Gabaldon, The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, If We Were Villains by Emma Rio, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, White Teeth by Zadie Smith, A Brief History of Seven Killings by Marlon James, Atonement by Ian McEwan, A Short History of Tractors in Ukrainian by Marina Liuka, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, A History of the World in 100 Objects by Neil McGregor, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, The Nix by Nathan Hill, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey I'm not even gonna try. Trainspotting by Irvin Welsh. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. The Power by Naomi Alderman. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. The Goldfinch and The Secret History by the amazing Donna Tartt. First of all, I'm sorry for the extreme change in lighting, but it was getting so dark in the house even though it's like middle of the afternoon. I just had to put on my lights because I do not have any fancy camera lights yet. Let's go on with the shelf. On this shelf are mostly my hardcovers, as you can see. I just like the look of them all together because they're all tall. And yeah, I do not have that many hardcovers because I don't like how they read, but they do look damn good on the shelves. The first book on here is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Mythos and Heroes by Stephen Fry. The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Crime and Mystery short stories. Time travel short stories. And chilling horror short stories. S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee. Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales by the Grimm Brothers. The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. The Complete Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. The Complete Novels of Jane Austen. And the Collected Works of Edgar Allan Poe. So now we come in the more childhood section of my bookshelf. All the shelves that are coming now are books that I gathered from like when I was 14 maybe. So this is more young adult and fantasy. First of all, I have a huge collection of bookmarks. I have no idea why I keep all of them because I actually never use bookmarks. I always just dog-ear the page. I'm sorry for those who hate doing that. Then I have Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Beans from Harry Potter universe, whatever it's called, in Florida because my family went there. And then I have a little owl bookmark that my parents got from me from Prague, I think. First of all, I have my Bloomsbury hardcover Harry Potter collection. I have all of them except for the Philosopher's Stone. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the 20th anniversary edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in Ravenclaw edition, another edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, The Tales of Beedle the Bard. Then I have the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin, A Dance with Dragons, A Feast for Crows, A Storm of Swords, A Clash of Kings, and A Game of Thrones. Then I have my two illustrated editions of Harry Potter. I do have the third one, The Prisoner of Azkaban, but that one is at my parents' right now. So, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Why? Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter, A History of Magic. Then I have The World of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Then I have just two magazines that I like, so I wanted to keep them. The Saga of Ice and Fire, and then I have a illustrated edition of Pride and Prejudice. Here is my young adult fantasy shelf. I love that they're all the same height. Makes me so happy. Anyway, first I have the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer, which I actually have not ever read. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Scarlet and Cress. Then the Hunger Games trilogy. The Hunger Games by Susan Collins. Catching Fire and Mockingjay, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, A Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters, all by Laini Taylor. Then I have Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, both by Leigh Bardugo. And I have The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, Sleeping Giants by Sylvan Neuvel, All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders, The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, this random book I bought in Italy, it's The Sunflower Girl by Rosanna Trufalo, The Hobbit by Tolkien, Splintered, Unhinged, and Ensnared by A.J. Howard, The Diviners by Libba Bray, and then I have the fifth book in the Percy Jackson series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. I do have the rest of the series, but that one is at my parents'. And then on the bottom shelf we have a very random collection of books. On this side we have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, and a photography book, Let's Focus by Marit Hilarius. Then I have some pocket editions. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson. The Help by Catherine Stockett. The Circle by Dave Eggers. Love, Rosie by Cecilia Ahern. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Bosky. The Graveyard Book, Coraline, and Fortunately the Milk by Neil Gaiman. The First Time She Drowned by Carrie Clatter. Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. And People Like Us by Dana Mille. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Death Note by authors I'm not gonna even try to pronounce. Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Madsen. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. And then you probably thought we were done, but we're not, because I do have some random books scattered around this shelf as well. First of all, my beloved Persephone book, Because of the Lockwoods, They Were Sisters, and The Priory, all by Dorothy Whipple. Mariana by Monica Dickens. Few Eggs and No Oranges, The Diaries by Ver Hodgkin. Here I have The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. Oblomov by Ivan Goncharov. His Dark Materials series, Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen Ermskauer. From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Doughty. And lastly, I have some witchy books, which is something I got really interested in last year, and I bought a ton of books about it. Moon Spells by Diane Alkist. The Modern Guide to Witchcraft by Sky Alexander. Witch by Lisa Lister. Moonology by Jasmine Boland. The Occult Book by John Michael Greer. So those were all the books in my bookshelves. I hope you enjoyed it. I really had tons of fun filming this. It was quite a challenge. It was a struggle, and the editing is probably going to be a bitch, but that's okay. I've always wanted to film a bookshelf tour and finally done it. Yeah, I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you didn't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!